Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. I kindly request, in the most respectful way, that you hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Fans are out here saying, F Errol Spence and PBC, screw you busters. You're gonna put Errol Spence in front of Terence Crawford, you cockaholes. Yo, listen, man. I told y'all. I was sitting here, man, telling me Hood Champion, you don't know anything about boxing. What are you talking about? Oh, you're too old. What are you doing with a YouTube channel? So a couple of things is one, I know a little bit about boxing. And as far as why do I have a YouTube channel, I'm too old? Because I retired 5 years ago and never returned to work, and I don't have to ever work again. And my kids don't have to work. So hopefully that answers your questions. But they're going to work because, Daddy got it working very hard, and they're going to have to know what it is to work hard for shit. But anyway, it has nothing to do with me, right? Errol Spence. Where'd this man come from? Did y'all see Errol Spence tonight? He looked good, man. He looked healthy. He looked nice. Showing all them teeth. Y'all know why he was showing those teeth, right? You know why? Because he's looking at Fundora as something to eat. That's exactly what this is, man. Now, for those of you who are saying, oh, man, we're so glad to see Errol Spence back. Yeah, Errol Spence against Fundora. That's the fight to make. Errol Spence is back on top. Errol Spence, Spence, Errol. Yeah, the big fish. To that I say, I kindly request in the most respectful way that you hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid. Y'all don't see what just happened? Y'all not see what the fuck just happened? Al Heyman, PBC, Errol Spence, they kept Crawford locked up in this rematch contract until Errol Spence got fully healed and could start training. Then they said, okay, look, man, let's just go ahead and the contract expired, not going to hold you up from doing your thing. When they already had plans to put Errol Spence up against the winner of Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman fell out. But it made it seem like they were doing Terence Crawford a favor. Yeah, man, you don't have any ties to the PBC. Go on out there, do your thing, get your money, big dog. Get your money, champ. Sir. All bullshit. Man, they played Terence Crawford. That's what fans are saying, F Errol Spence and the PBC. Now, I'm going to tell you this, right? I don't claim to be smarter than a fifth grader, but I'm far from slow. And when you look at the timeline of shit, nobody's seen Errol Spence. Nobody knows. Errol Spence, big fish, did he drown? He'd be the first fish I know that drowned, right? What happened to big fish? What happened to the shark? What happened to what happened to that guy? And he just surfaces tonight. This is crazy. But anyway, Tim Tszyu, in my opinion, would be a much difficult fight than Sebastian Fundora for anyone. But that's just not how it played out. So Terence Crawford is out here pissed off. So this is how it's going to go. Terence Crawford wants to fight too. But Fundora has to make a decision. Now, what does Fundora do? Does he say, I'm going to keep my 2 belts and I'm going to challenge Terence Crawford? But Fundora can't make that decision. If they say, hey, you fight Errol Spence, he has to fight Errol Spence. Remember, Leonard Ellaby told us 2 days ago, Terence Crawford won't get no opportunity. He's not with PBC. Errol Spence gets the opportunity. It's just business, nothing personal. So Terence Crawford is there in the breeze. He's become a nowhereian. He like Puff Daddy right now. Just went from being on top, I thought I told you that, we won't stop, to being on the run. Crawford lost, man. So if Crawford tries to, if the WBO cooperates with Terence Crawford and says, hey, we've got your back. Well, it forces Fundora to make a decision. He may drop that WBO strap and go fight Errol Spence and defend his WBC belt against Errol Spence. Because it's all about where the most money is. Sebastian Fundora, he's not going to hold on to those belts long. I'm telling you this. Tim Tszyu was about to get his ass out of there. Then that could happen. So now, what do we see? He's got to make a decision. Does he fight Crawford? Does he fight Errol Spence? So you got Crawford and Spence going back and forth because they both want a piece of the 6'6" shish kebab, the 6'6" selfie stick, upside down slingshot. Everybody wants to get a crack at him. You know what I mean? But we're gonna have to wait and see what the sanctioning bodies do. Y'all pay attention. Some secret society shit is gonna be on full display. It already happened tonight. Why didn't Terence Crawford get in that ring? How about if I told you Terence Crawford was banned from the event? What would you think then? They didn't want him to come into the venue. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on. But for Errol Spence, he looked healthy. He didn't look fat. He didn't look sick. He looked good. He looked like he's ready to fight. And he wants to fight Fundora. But I tell you what, for those of you who are saying, Errol Spence just got knocked out by Terence Crawford. He had all these issues with his health and everything like that. He should retire. To that I say, I agree, if he was fighting Terence Crawford. But the fact he's getting in here with Cockroach Man, I don't think Errol Spence is going to have too much of a problem against Cockroach Man. Because understand this, just like Errol Spence took some damage against Terence Crawford, and Errol Spence is suffering from things that may have been lingering from that car accident and his, mash-up, crash-up style of fighting. Sebastian Fundora, in his last fight, got knocked out. In this fight, he got hurt badly and his face broken. Nose and shit broken, right? So Fundora took some damage. So yeah, he'll be coming off of some activity to face Errol Spence by the summer. But he's going to be 3.5 months or so removed from just taking some serious damage in a fight with Tim Tszyu. That plays to Errol Spence's advantage because Errol Spence is fresh. But the inactivity could hurt Errol Spence, but we don't know. So that fight between Errol Spence and Sebastian Fundora, the playing field is a lot more even than what people think. But we got to wait and see what happens. I tell you, it's never a dull day in boxing. When people talk boxing is boring, boxing is dead, I just got to say, Mick Nicholas, hold your horses, quit taking to the stupid. Boxing's not dead. But what I will say, fans have every right to be like, nah, Errol Spence, get your ass to the back of the line. But boxing is a business. Popularity matters. And there is a huge demand to see Errol Spence back in the ring, more so than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford fans may disagree, but look, take the emotion out of it. And I know that's impossible because it's natural. I mean, being emotional is something that happens naturally. You don't have to try to be emotional. But the bottom line is there's more of a demand to see Errol Spence in the ring, especially if he gets an opportunity to fight a guy like Fundora for 2 belts and take it to Texas. I mean, that shit is going to sell out. There's going to be huge money. I don't know. We just got to wait and see what happens, but I don't know what to think, but I'm trying to think if something like this happened when I was in the military, or you had somebody who was, Now, when I look at it like that, man, okay. Yeah, I kind of agree with the fans on this one. Because I remember times when I was in the military, man, where you had a guy or a girl who just happened to be someone who was part of what I would call like the A team, you know what I'm saying? People who kind of looked out for them. They were always out and about and people knew who they were, but they weren't the most deserving necessarily. It was just they were a bit more popular and well known. but didn't mean that they were the most deserving based on the accolades. And sometimes you see those people get certain positions, certain assignments, and I never liked that shit. So I was never part of the A team. I was never on a B or C team. I was that guy who operated independently, and I made sure that my effort was always greater, so my reward would be greater. And when I look at Terence Crawford, his effort is a lot greater than all these guys, but his reward isn't so great. So what happens is when your effort is greater than others, but their reward is greater than yours, morale goes down. And now you find somebody with a chip on their shoulder. That's how Terence Crawford is. And I bet you that chip that was on his shoulder after he fought Errol Spence, I think it was still there, but it was more like a pebble. You know what I'm saying? But if they jerk him in this fight, that pebble is going to turn back into a boulder. And if he does rematch Spence or whoever he gets in the ring with, I think Terence Crawford is going to try to hurt him. I think that Terence Crawford, that vicious, mean, menacing Terence Crawford, I think he's going to be back. I gave y'all about 6 topics in this one video to go out there and make 6 videos, man. But Terence Crawford, he deserves to fight more than Errol Spence. But that's just not how it works in boxing. But anyway, fans aren't too cool with the idea of Errol Spence going at Zoo, just like a lot of the fans weren't too cool with Keith Thurman getting the opportunity. But let's just wait and see how things play out. But I kind of agree with the fans where I just think Terence Crawford may have earned the fight more than Errol Spence, but doesn't matter what I think, right? Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.